gun people. Well, it's kind of cold outside, and there's nothing I really need to do outside, so I'm going to work on this my little AK pistol. So let me clean this area up a little bit. AK pistol, not much additions. I put a little rail here with a little laser. It's got a little blue laser. If you guys can see that. Can y'all see that blue laser? Let me try it on the black. Huh. Is that coming out? I can't tell. So there's a blue laser right there. And the reason why I put a laser on here is if firing this little pistol at a low ready like this, I mean, it's got sights, but you got to kind of hold it up and kind of like aim it up at the sights, whereas a little laser, you can probably see it shoot through the screen there. Just gives me a little point of reference if I'm doing, I've got a little angle grip there to control it, and it's not, I mean, it doesn't kick that bad, but anyway, I know there's no round in here because all my rifles, I don't keep rounds inside. I haven't checked it, but what I'll do is I'll pull out the mag, and then when I clear it, I know there's not going to be a round. If a round comes off, I'm sending everybody watching $1,000. No round. Shocking. How did you know that, Rick? Because I know all my guns, if I pull it and have to use my rifles, I have to give it a rack. It's still like racking a shotgun. You don't carry a shotgun with a round and chamber. I don't carry my rifles with a round and chamber. So it's got a loaded mag, and all I have to do is that. But I know my guns. And then I also, after I do this, I squeeze the trigger to release all the tension off of the trigger spring, and it's setting like that. So there's no safety, there's no way somebody can accidentally shoot. The only way this gun shoots is if somebody racks it and then pulls the trigger, which is what I would do if I needed to use it. So let's I'm gonna pull out the bolt, give it a wipe down. This has been sitting in the car for, hell, 5 years. I put it in there, and I don't know if I've ever had it out. I mean, somebody here may know. If I can remember how to take apart this AK. The pistol's kind of nice because it's got a little hinge. Normally on an AK this comes right off. So looks pretty clean. Push the spring back here forward and up, and that will take out your whatever the hell it's called, bolt spring. And then you got to rack this back, and this is the hammer that I was talking about releasing a trigger spring. So there's not a lot of tension on there, and this is a hard spring too. So I'm going to go ahead and lock that down so I can pull the bolt out. And it looks pretty clean. And then that's it. I would just wipe. I'm going to clean the interior here. Hopefully in the light so you can see that. Clean the barrel. My trigger mechanism should be pretty clean. I'm going to go ahead and wipe that down. Maybe put a little oil on there. Make sure the safety's on. I'm not going to pull the safety off. If you pull your safety all the way up, it'll come out. But there's no, I'm not trying to take out the trigger. If I was taking out the trigger, replacing or doing, you can tell my trigger is all polished because I've taken it out and I don't like rough edges. So it's all smoothed out. That's why I tell people, if you buy a used gun from me, you get a better gun than you get from the factory, because I've gone through it. So, and of course this little thing right here is just it's no different than a flash suppressor, but it's got these little jagged edges. So not only if I'm out of ammo or I have to push through something or poke a hole in something or somebody's trying to grab it and I can hit them in the face with it to protect my gun, it's pretty freaking sharp, and you would not want to get hit with that in the face, I assure you. Not that I would ever encourage violence or do violence, because I want to please the friendly YouTube community. Anyway, I digress. So, and again, this has all been polished and cleaned up also. The bolt right here looks like I've got some. I wonder if I sprayed some That almost looks like white lithium that I have on there. So, and you can just pull this right out too for the bolt. And I will go ahead and clean all those up. Looks pretty clean though. I don't, maybe a little bit of dirt on my finger there. So I'm going to get some gloves on. I think I figured out my jerkiness in the last few videos where I had jerky. Anytime I use this Panasonic Handycam, I end up getting jerky crap. So the problem was, I think, is this stupid Panasonic only saves videos in MTS or MTS2, which is a stupid format which nobody will allow you to upload. I think YouTube just added it, so now I can add it if I go straight to YouTube. But if I put it through my editing software, it has to be an MP4 or movie. My editing software won't take M2. So I have to put this through Panasonic's converter and convert this video into an MP4 so I can upload it into my editing video. And then once I upload it into the editing video, when it uploads to YouTube, formats it for YouTube playing. So it's going through these different formats, and I was getting choppiness, and it was driving me nuts because I couldn't figure it out. So I was playing around with it the other day for an hour or so, and I finally figured out that it's I was converting it on the medium setting. I didn't know there was a setting. There's a fast setting to where it'll convert it quick, but it won't give you a quality. The medium setting is default, so it's semi-quick, and it still took me an hour. When I do this video, if it's a 30-minute video, it takes an hour to convert it to an MP4 so I can upload it to my editor. Then when I upload it to my editor, I edit it, and then uploading it to YouTube takes a lot longer because for some reason it's gone through 2 editing. So I'm getting a little bit of dirt off the bolt. Not a lot. And I don't think that's from sitting in the truck getting dirty. I think this is just from maybe when you oil a gun. I always tell people you should clean your gun after you shoot it, and then you should clean it 3 days later or maybe a week or 2 weeks later, because it takes a while for the metal to go in and out and all the corrosion to work its way to the top. So even though a gun's clean, when you put it away, if you cleaned it right afterwards, if you pull that gun out in 2 weeks, you're going to get other stuff off it. So I don't like that little, see that little discoloration at that bolt there? I don't like that. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's carbon, but I don't like it. So let me see if I can get rid of that. First I'll try a little toothbrush. That might have lightened it a little bit. Hopefully you guys can see that. Like right there. I think it lightened it a little bit. But a little steel wool, that'll take that right off. Whatever it is, it's going to be gone here in a second. Didn't take it off as quick as I wanted. I thought it would have went away quicker. It is going away. So whatever it was a little bit more on there than I thought it was. I thought it was just a little discoloration. So it's pretty much gone now. But that's kind of what I'm looking for when I'm looking to see if a gun is clean. I'm inspecting all the sides here. I'm looking for anything different in this bolt that shouldn't be there. So, and then if I find something, I want it to be clean and uniform clean. So this looks like it has a couple little flat shiny spots. Can you guys see that? I want to spin this around in a complete circle. See if you can see what I'm seeing. It's hard to tell sometimes trying to get the light reflecting. There's a couple little flat spots on there that I don't know if it's wear marks or what, but a little steel wool on there, and whatever it is, I know it's now polished and it's good to go. So I don't know if you can see that or not. Okay, so this little piece is done except for putting new oil on it. Let's see what this one looks like. So this has some pretty good, looks like a little carbon buildup right there around this gas ring right here. So the gas hits this part, and you can tell it's kind of concave, and that usually gets kind of black. Most AKs I pull apart, this is black. People think it's factory black because it's so black. But it shouldn't be black. So mine's not black. And so all the gas and everything hits this point right here, and it shoves the bolt back against that spring, and it makes the action work. So this is like your carbon buildup, kind of like that area on your bolt on the AR. Right here, this little round area right here, usually gets some pretty good buildup. And I don't see a whole bunch on there. I see a little bit, but not a lot. So I'll go ahead and hit that with a little steel wool. Oh, look at that baby shine. Woo, doggies. Now, I don't know if you guys can see the difference or not, but that little steel wool just polished that right up. So there was a little dirt and a little bit of carbon buildup on there. And because of that steel wool, it just polished that right up. So this 4/0 or whatever, the thinnest steel wool, man, that just, it does wonders on everything. And it just will remove anything that shouldn't be there. Alright, so this had some pretty good, and again, all this right here, when I got this, was kind of rough, and I put some flits on it, and I put it on a wheel, and I polished up that bolt, so it's nice and smooth, which means I'm going to be able to clean it easier. I'm going to see rust easier, makes the oil go down easier. So I always try and polish up. I'm a big polisher on my guns. These are an investment. Remember, when they mass produce these and just punch these out, they're not worried about. So I got a pretty good bit of dirt out of that little corner right there. I just looked in there and I went, that doesn't look right. So let me get, this is clean. Right there I can see that dirt, and I don't know if it's coming out. Look at that dirt I got out of there. So now this dirt that I'm removing, I don't think it's from sitting in a car. I think it's just working its way out over time. So we got a clean Q-tip here, and I'm just gonna again hit every corner, crack, and crevice to see if I can get any of that, because that's not malfunction dirt. That's not affecting the operation dirt. That's just anal dirt for me, that I don't like my guns having dirt. Okay? And again, I cleaned this gun pretty good. Maybe I pulled this out and shot it and don't remember. Sometimes if I'm in the middle of nowhere or with somebody and they're like, man, let me shoot that AK, we'll pull over and just fire a few rounds off. But I don't remember doing that. So I got a lot more dirt off this sucker than I really like. And again, why I like Q-tips, because I can tell when they're clean and when they're dirty. Now this little tunnel here where your spring goes, so your spring, when it hooks in, it goes right in this little area right here. So that's a pretty big cavity to get to. And getting clean way down there is not an easy task. So this is a very neglected area on the AK. And I'll usually put, this won't even go all the way back. It almost hits the end. So any rod that you have, a cleaning rod, that's not backed up everywhere, and put a little patch on it. I'm going to put a semi-dirty patch because that one guy really yelled at me for using a dirty patch. I'm going to use this dirty patch Right now that guy's unsubscribing. That mother, he's using a dirty patch and I told him that bothered me. Well, whatever, dude. Alright. So this patch, I'm going to go ahead and clean that tube out. And hopefully, oh man, look at that. I got a lot of dirt on that sucker. Woo, doggies. So I'm not a fan of all that dirt in there. So I'm going to put a few drops of Marvel Mystery Oil now that I have my little dispenser. I really neglected using this oil because I never had a way to put it in anywhere. And then once you smell this, it's like crack when you smell this Marvel Mystery Oil. You'll be like, damn man, that smells really good. And I like good smelling oils that smells like I'm cleaning. So a little more dirt. Oh man, that smells good. Ooh, doggies. So it's a little loose going in and out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double this over and kind of make this more of a wad. See what I'm doing? I'm just kind of flipping it over itself so it becomes bigger when I put it in there. And that's going to make it tighter. I can already feel the tension. It's a lot tighter. And that's going to be a little bit more abrasive to clean that tube out. And I didn't get a whole bunch more dirt out of it, so that's good. Alrighty. So I like that. And I can smell that it's got oil in there. Alright, so we're good to go on that one. Get all this shit out of the way, have a sip of coffee. Ah, that's good. Woo! Yeah, it's cold. We got the fireplace going. It's 32 degrees, 34 degrees outside. I'm cleaning the gun with my YouTubey people. And life is good. So this actually had quite a bit of dirt in it where the bolt goes in. So, and I haven't even put oil on it yet. So if you look down there, that had quite a bit more dirt than I kind of liked, because it made my patch a little dirtier. But not the end of the world. And now, this right here, I know the patch is a little dirty, but we're going to see if we get some dirt off this spring. And again, I always twist my springs while I'm holding it and let it work it out. You'll notice this is getting longer, this is getting shorter. If I twist the other way, it'll go reverse. But this is the best way I found to clean springs, because I'm getting a lot of contact surface where my fingers are at as it's spinning around. And this is getting longer and this is getting shorter. Rick, can you speed this up? Maybe I'll speed this up in the in my editing. I don't know. When I speed things up, you can't have sound. So if I say anything in a speed up, you lose what I said. And every once in a while, I'll throw out some crazy little tidbit that's just old news for me, and some people will be like, dude, that tip was golden, I didn't even know. So you see how this is getting longer? This is getting shorter. And I just keep spinning. And you'll notice when I show you the rag afterwards, it will have lots of junk on it. And it's almost through. Alrighty. So you see all those little rotations of dirt and grime? Those are little minor things that you got off here. The spring looked pretty clean. But by twisting that, now it's a lot cleaner. Now you can take this spring off. There's two little metal pieces inside here and it's kind of a pain in the butt, and I've had it off before. I guess I could take this off for you guys. If I remember how to get that thing off. Let's see. I kind of forgot how to take it off. Does this spin? I can't remember now, man. It's been a long time since I've had one of these off. Does this metal piece right here come off? Well, I guess I won't take it off. Maybe some of them come off and some of them don't. This is on a mini, so maybe the long ones come off and these don't, because it looks pretty. That's a solid piece, and that looks like a solid piece. The only way this is coming off is if I somehow can take that off, and I don't know if that screws off. Looks like it might. Yeah, we ain't gonna mess with that. This video will be long as hell. It's probably already long. Alright, so I have all these pieces clean. This is my bolt kind of main mechanism. I'm gonna wipe down all this good rail here. I'm gonna come in here, run a patch down here, wipe down all these rails in here with some oil. And that's pretty much it, what I'll do. If this thing was gonna be rusty or dirty, it would probably be on the outside. So I'm gonna get this kind of semi-white cloth right here. And I'm just going to rub that right there and see what I get. And that's the fine rust that I'm talking about. That is starting rust on there from sitting there. Even though you can't see it and it's not there, you probably can't even tell where I cleaned a little bit. Maybe you can. I just cleaned right here in this section. So that is why you want to put oil and get things cleaned up. This is the outside that's going to rust. The interior I'm not too worried about, but I'm still going to put a coat of oil on it to stop any of that, and then I'm going to give this whole gun a rub down, and you'll be able to see that right there where the serial number now is kind of shiny where I just rubbed it, and I don't even know if I had oil on there. Let me get another semi-clean spot. So we're going to use this spot right here, and I'm going to put a little mystery oil on there. And I'll just let that set for a second. And you can see where the mystery oil is at. I'm pretty sure in that little square. And now I'm going to go ahead and put this clean patch over that area. Well, the patch moves better, I'll tell you that much. I'm not getting the grittiness that I got before with no oil. And look at that. Wow. So that's just putting a little bit of that mystery oil on there, and that's what it cleaned it up. So although the gun looked like it was fine, doesn't look like it's rusty, there's still that little minor surface rust that you want to get cleaned up. And so that's what I'm going to do with this sucker. Now that I got all these done. Oh no, I knocked over my mystery oil. Oh no, it's going to spill everywhere. That's why I love these caps. No spill. No dripping. No spill. Man. Alright, so let's see here. I'm just going to oil down this little bolt here, because this video might be a little long, and I might make a part 2 if y'all want to watch me. Just, I mean, it's not really, I'm just going to use this mystery oil just like I did and do this whole gun like that. So, I mean, I don't really think there needs to be a part 2 to that. Put a few drops of that mystery oil on there, and then just kind of give it a good rub down. And that mister oil goes a long way. And it smells. Man, it smells good. Now what I didn't clean here, which usually gets a lot of dirt, is these little grooves. And you really want to get in those little grooves and kind of make sure those are clean. So I'm going to turn this over. This dirty patch that the guy told me I shouldn't be using. And I'm going to make that little groove and stick my finger in that groove and spin this. And see what... And I didn't get much out of there at all. So I'm doing a second groove now. So basically I just put this in here and then shove my thumb in that little groove there so I get pressure way down deep in the groove. And it looks pretty good. Alrighty. And then when I'm doing these right here, it's hard to get oil in all this. So I'm just going to put a few drops in my glove hand. Like so. Spread that around. And now we're going to get the spring. And like I said, that oil goes a long way, and it's putting a nice little coat all over this. If I really want to get thing, I will pull this down and put some oil over that, but I'm not going to do it. Rick, you're neglecting that gun. It's not going to work. Again, all this I'm taking off this gun, people, is not malfunction issues. This is all just kind of, I like a clean, well-polished gun, less chance of a malfunction, making it last longer, knowing I'm taking care of it. Some of these rails I just cannot get down because it's so small right there unless I get a pipe cleaner to get in there, which is why that little stainless steel thing here is kind of nice, because I can get right in there and put a drop of oil right in there. Put a drop of oil right in there. Other side, same way. And when you see that drop of oil come out, it's because I'm squeezing a bottle. So if I don't squeeze the bottle, no oil comes out. Okay? And when I squeeze the bottle, that's when I get my drop. Okay? When you're putting this bolt in, it should go in to where it spins on that little rail. So you see that little notch right there? That's got to go in that little rail so it spins in and out. See how that kind of locks in? And then to take it out, you just spin that up and it comes right out. So usually if you just slide it in and doesn't think it goes a special way and oh, it's in there, it's not in there. It needs to be in this little groove right there. And then I guess I can run a patch down here and see how bad the barrel is. It's a pretty short barrel. Yeah, I didn't see a whole bunch, but it was already dirty. Let me put a clean patch on for that one viewer that doesn't like me using my dirty patches. So this one's almost clean. I can still get a little use out of this. I can't believe that dude was like so upset, man. He's like unsubscribing and shit because I used a dirty patch. I'm like, dude, really? So all I'm doing here is putting a little drop of oil here because this is where the barrel is going to put the most tension, is right around there. And because this is a 30 caliber, that little patch right here is like getting no resistance whatsoever. And because I can't get in to this barrel, remember this little this little spot right here that I did and I got that little surface rust, I can't do that to the inside of the barrel. That's why you need to put that patch down there and make sure your barrel is always good and oiled to stop that little surface rust from happening inside your barrel. This already has a short barrel, so I'm not getting as much velocity as a longer barrel. And then if I get pits or the rifling gets bad in this barrel, I'm even getting less velocity. So, you know, so I'm going to probably finish this up offline. I'm going to give this a clean over and maybe I'll pop back on to show you the finished project.